Hello and welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be all about gifts. So Christmas has passed now. In the run up to Christmas, was so busy. I decided this year that I was going to make as many of my gifts as I possibly could. As you might know, I'm pretty handy with a bit of DIY, and I thought, why not? Partly because I wanted my gifts to be a bit more personal, partly because I didn't want to have to go in as many shops, and partly because I wanted to try and save a little bit of money, because obviously this year has been tricky for work. And I thought I would try and make all of my family and some of my friends their gifts this Christmas. And I thought you guys might want to see what those were. Obviously I had to wait until after Christmas. I would have loved to have shared them in the run up to Christmas so that you guys had some ideas if you wanted to make these things as well. But I also wanted to keep them a surprise. So I think that today will be the Sunday after Christmas, so hopefully all my friends and family have opened their Christmas presents now and they have seen what they are, and I thought I would take you through them, talk to you about how I made them and give you guys a good old nosy. So I hope you enjoy the video and let's get going. So this year my biggest addiction has been Facebook Marketplace. I love the place. I have bought so much stuff on there. I'm definitely going to do a video on it, I think, about my top tips, things that I found. My TV cabinet was a Facebook Marketplace find and I then upcycled it. I had made a video all about that, but if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I lost the entire contents of a hard drive, and with it I lost loads and loads of footage. And some of that footage was my TV cabinet makeover, but you can see the before and after over on my Instagram. Anyway, some of the things that I made for my family actually started as Facebook Marketplace purchases. And the first one is a stool for my sister. So my sister has a dressing table in her bedroom, and ages and ages ago, I mean like years ago, I bought her a stool to go at it, and I reupholstered it. It was wooden, and I think that stool broke. And I think she has been sitting either on the broken stool ever since then, or she has been sitting on some kind of makeshift thing. And I know that what she wanted was a really posh, little fluffy, pink stool to go in her bedroom at her dressing table. So I found on Facebook Marketplace a stool for £8, which was listed as being a bit damaged. It had some paint marks on it, or some pen marks, I think, on the velvet. Now, if I'd wanted to keep it velvet, those kind of stools tend to be covered in fabric. There is a possibility that you could actually unscrew the base on that stool, and it actually had a sort of elasticated cover on it. You could have whipped that off and you could have tried washing it. However, I knew that I wanted to cover the stool, so it didn't matter to me that it had marks on. It was metal base, hairpin legs, really, really nice shape and size, and so for £8, I thought it was a bargain. Now, when I actually picked it up, and this is one of the dangers of Facebook Marketplace, the legs, and it was all contactless because obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic, so you can't sort of really chat to the person or anything. The legs were pretty badly scratched and scuffed. Now, that's not the end of the world to me because I just decided I would repaint them, but obviously for other people, that is just one thing to watch out for, that there's other damage that isn't listed on the listing. Anyway, let's show you the finished product. Here it is. So I have sanded the legs and given them a new coat of paint with a metal, specific metal paint that is gold finish, like a shiny gold finish, really metallic, really lovely, really hard wearing. I actually unscrewed the base off and did it all separate, and then I covered the top in this gorgeous pinky peachy fake fur, which I already had. I don't know if some of you know, but I used to have an Etsy shop, and in that Etsy shop I sold fluffy pom-poms, key rings, all sorts of things made from really high quality fur, and this colour was actually one of my most popular colours, and I still had loads of it left because I closed my shop. And so obviously that didn't cost me any money for the fabric, but it's a really, really good quality fur. So yeah, so I've recovered the top. I've just done it by stapling it on and sort of tucking in the fabric, and then I re-screwed the newly painted base on. So total cost for this was £8, and I think it looks absolutely beautiful, and I hope she's going to really, really like it. It's really strong and sturdy, and actually it was a really, really nice stool. It was a real shame that the blue was so damaged, but I knew I didn't want it blue anyway. So yeah, that is what I made from my sister. Can't wait to give it her. And obviously all these things are surprises, and I have tried to make people things that I think that they would like, not just like random things. So yeah, so this is for my big sis. So for my mum, I decided to make her a couple of things actually. I first of all have made her a wreath for her front door. Now, my parents live in a cul-de-sac where the whole street goes all out for decorating their house, especially with lights. And they're always flashy, they're always like really big and over the top, and my parents don't really go in for that, especially my dad. Sorry Dad, but I'm calling you out here. He's not a big fan of the outdoor light thing, so they have a few lights outside on a bush. My mum's got a little light up reindeer that goes at the front door. A few years ago bought my mum a really big light up reindeer, and she has that in the back garden so she can see it when she's doing the dishes. Anyway, I thought it would be lovely to make my mum a wreath which they can put on the door year after year. So it's not a real one, it is an artificial one. And I used exactly the same methods as I used in my wreath, succulent and pine cone wreath, which I think was a YouTube video, I'm pretty sure. And so I will link it so you guys can watch that. Exactly the same method, exactly the same sort of system, except I actually made my wreath base myself. It's made out of woven willow. I went to the park and I foraged some willow branches, and I soaked them, twisted them into a wreath shape, used a bit of wire to hold it in place, and then left it to dry, and I've used that. I also used lots of things that I already had. I already had all the pine cones. I collected them years ago before I moved house from this big park where there was always loads. I went on a dog walk with a bag and collected loads of them. Loads of fake eucalyptus in there. There's some faux fir as in fir sprigs from a tree. But yeah, it's based on one that I actually saw on Next. There was one on Next online that had these little chunks of wood that were pink, and I thought it was really pretty, and I would try and recreate it. I will put the Next one in the description box if you want to have a look. But yeah, it's a little bit sparkly. I finished it off with some glitter, and there are some ribbons at the bottom, and there's a little bit of wire at the top for it to hang on the front door. And I'm going to take home with me some of those command hooks so that we can put one on the front door and we can hang it. So she's actually going to get this early. I'm going to give her this as soon as I get home for Christmas. I'm allowed to travel on the 23rd, so I will give it her on the 23rd, and then she can enjoy it for as much time as possible. But yeah, and then they can pack it away, and every year she can get it out and she can put it on the front door. So I really hope she's going to like this. I couldn't tell you how much this cost to make because I had a lot of the things already, and as I said, I made the wreath base myself. So the only things I really bought were these sort of sprongy, it's not even a word, but like spiky ball things here. And I bought these balls which were on a stem, and they actually came from the pound shop. They were £1 a sprig. And then I bought some fake fir sprigs from Dunelm, which I think were about £2.99 each. So I really didn't spend a lot making this, but obviously it's time and it's effort, and I think that's often a nicer thing to give somebody, is your creativity as well. And I think she's going to really like it, so I'm really excited to, oh, it's getting stuck to my jumper. I'm really excited to give her that. So another thing from my mum is a plant pot. Now, I had a load of plant pots. In the summer, I bought on Facebook Marketplace a huge lot of pots. And they were for my garden makeover. And there was loads of smaller ones, and I washed them and kept them all to one side because I thought they would make really nice Christmas presents if I painted them. And I recently got sent some beautiful paints from a new company called Sophie James Decor, and they're actually based not far from me here in Essex. It's a family-run business. The paints are stunning. They are chalk-free, self-priming, self-sealing paints with a built-in wax that then is washable, and they go on so nice. And they actually sent me a few little testers, and I bought some extra testers because they had so many beautiful colours. And I decided I was going to paint a load of pots for Christmas presents and then plant plants in them. So this one I've done for my mum. So this is a slightly larger pot than the other ones I did, and I was inspired by a couple of things. So I always go on Pinterest for my inspiration of how to make things, and I saw on Pinterest a plant pot that had been done like this and painted so that it looked like mountains with a sort of gradient of colour. But also a friend of mine runs a print company, and he has a print which is just like this, and I'm pretty sure it has the same colours in it, and they're all prints of the Lake District. My parents love the Lake District. They're big walkers. They used to go on holiday to Switzerland and things like that. So this kind of represents like mountains and hills, but also it's lilacs and greens, which I know my mum likes. I know she likes sort of purpley colours. And then planted in the top are purple or lilac hyacinths. And when these come up, they smell absolutely beautiful. And I got these off a market stall from a lady in a set of 3, and I've planted them in the pot. And then I've dressed the pot with a little bit of fake moss, just so it looks a little bit neater. And yeah, I'm actually going to get my mum a little dish for this to sit in, because the pot does have a hole at the bottom, so that she can water it and it doesn't damage any surfaces. But I think it looks really beautiful, and I'm so pleased with it, and I think she's really going to like that, and I'm hoping she's going to put it on her fireplace. I also painted some other pots for my best friends. So this year and for the last few years, me and my friends have made our gifts. Partly because we wanted to save a little bit of money, and partly because we just thought it was nicer, it was more personalised. And so this year I made all of my 3 best friends a little plant pot with a hyacinth in, and I used the same Sophie James Decor paints to paint them with. And I planted a hyacinth in each of them, and each of them I kind of chose colours that they liked. So my friend Vicky, I chose her a sort of greeny duck egg colour because I know she likes those colours, and I tried to really personalise them to each person. And they've already had them, we've already swapped gifts, and I made a little reel of those plant pots, so I will link that in the description box if you want to go and watch that. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how they've all turned out, and I think it's a really cute way to use up all plant pots as well, because once you've painted them you can't tell if they were a little bit, you know, grubby or whatever. And yeah, making the most out of my Facebook Marketplace lot, which I think I paid something like a £5 or a £10 for so many pots, and loads of them are in my garden, including an absolutely massive one, so it was an absolute bargain. So but yeah, that's what I've made for my mum. One of the best DIY tools that I bought myself this year, and I bought it during lockdown #1, is this tool from Hobbycraft. This is a wood burning tool. This was £10, and it comes with a series of tips, and it's designed to burn shapes, patterns into wood. And to begin with, it sat in my side room where I keep all my craft stuff, and it didn't get used, but boy have I used it this Christmas. I decided to try and tackle some wooden gifts for friends and family. Now, one of the things that I had left over from my Etsy shop were some laser cut wooden baubles. I sold a few of them this year on Etsy. I made them a few years ago. I had loads that I'd never done anything with, and they were still blank. And I decided that I would try and create some personalised baubles with a design that was burnt in on the surface. And one of the people that I decided to make these for was Emma and Simon. So Emma's really tricky to buy Christmas presents for, because she's the kind of person that, she's quite minimalist. She doesn't want a lot of things. And to be honest, if she wants something, she goes and buys it. So I always try with Emma to make her a gift, or create her a gift that's much more personal, because it's not then something that money can buy, if you know what I mean. And so I really wanted to create her 5 baubles, each one with a picture of her chihuahuas on it. So each bauble would be one of her 5 chihuahuas. So I wanted to use these wooden baubles and my wood burning tool, and I actually created them by taking pictures of her chihuahuas. I stole them off Instagram, screenshot them, and then I put them into an app that turned them into a sort of sketch. And I printed that out onto tracing paper, traced it onto the baubles, and then essentially coloured it in with my wood burning tool. Now it worked for some of them like Bumble, he has such a distinctive face that he was quite easy to create a likeness. But a couple of the others, the sketch app didn't really make it look like them, and so I had to do a little bit of zhuzhing myself, and I am no animal portrait artist, so I was a little bit worried about whether they would look any good. Now, I've already posted them to Emma. I posted them a couple of days ago, so I have no idea. She won't open them till Christmas. I have no idea what she thinks yet, so I can't tell you if she liked them or not. However, I did film them before I sent them. So here's a little look at what they look like. I was really happy with the finish. Once I burnt the design in, I then also burnt their name onto each bauble, and then I finished the bauble with some wood oil, 2 coats of wood oil just to seal the design in. And then Emma is massively into sustainability. It's really, really important to her. She wants minimum amount of plastic use, and that was really important to me to make sure that I did that within her present and the wrapping. So the string that's on the bauble is actually just normal twine, and I've used the twist method to create a little cord, and that's what they'll hang off. And then I actually had a little Hessian type bag, and that's what I put them in. And then I've actually wrapped them in a simple cardboard box, and I've decorated that box with a pen, just with a Sharpie, and created a kind of Christmas tree design on there. Tied it up with some Hessian ribbon, and I think it looks really, really nice, really simple, really minimal. And then I've packaged it in a cardboard box with paper, shredded paper, so again it's recyclable, and the whole package was sealed up with paper tape, so there is no plastic involved in Emma's present at all. And that's really important to me because I know it's important to her. So I hope that she likes them when she gets them. I also made another one for a friend of mine for his dog. So I do have that one here. This is Barley, who is a golden retriever. Again, obviously I haven't given this to him yet, so I don't know if he's gonna like it or if he'll even think it looks like his dog, but I'm really pleased with them. They did take me quite a while, but I feel like they're really personal. They're obviously handmade, and I'm hoping that Emma and Simon will hopefully get them out every year and decorate their tree with them, or hang them on the doggy's little house or something. But yeah, I really enjoyed making them, and they cost me nothing because I had the baubles already, I had the string already, I had the oil for another project, and I already had the wood burning tool. It was just time that it took, but I don't mind. I do enjoy being crafty. I made some other things with the wood burning tool. So I decided, I'd seen in a garden centre a long time ago some chopping boards that had had designs burnt on them, and I thought, what a good idea for a gift, especially if you could find some chopping boards that were either in the sale or you had an old one, or so I actually did a couple. So the first one I did is actually for my brother. He is a massive cook. He loves food. He loves to put on a spread, and so he could use this as a serving board rather than a chopping board. This actually is a beautiful wooden board which I already owned, and it was pretty marked and pretty trashed. But as you know, or maybe you don't know, but recently I bought myself a really, really good sander, orbital sander, and it's so good. And I sanded this whole thing back, cleaned it up, got rid of all the marks, got it right back to its original wood. And then I've burnt a design along the top of it. So the design that I have burnt is his surname, obviously our surname, and then his name, his wife's name, and the kid's name. I'm gonna cover the kids' names because I'm not sure he necessarily wants them on the internet, but I'm really pleased with it. And then I have oiled it with that same oil. Now, if you're gonna create something like this that's gonna have food on it, you do need a very specific oil. So you have to buy a food safe oil, which is designed for chopping boards and things like that. I picked up mine on Amazon. I'll put it in the description box. But yeah, the wood has come up beautiful. You can see all the detail in it. It still needs a tiny little bit more time for the oil to sink in. So I'm not going to wrap this anytime soon because I really want the oil to have all properly sunk in. But that is for my brother and his wife. It's a joint gift. They'll obviously use it in the kitchen. And then the other one I made is for my dad. So I found this chopping board in TK Maxx, and it was in the sale. I think I got it for £6. and I had always planned to turn it into something for somebody for Christmas. And I actually saw, I do get a lot of my inspiration, as I said, from Pinterest, and I always think that you should credit people when you have been inspired by them. This design I've put on this board is pretty much a direct copy of a company called The Burnt Curve, and their picture came up when I googled. What I wanted was a tree design, because basically this board is half white and I thought it'd be really nice to have trees along which kind of then looked like they were sat in snow. And I found this picture, and it is a board that The Burnt Curve has created themselves, and I think they sell it from their Etsy shop. So I'm going to put their Etsy shop in the description box, and I'm gonna also put their Facebook page, because obviously they deserve credit for this beautiful tree design. I used my wood burning tool. It was really easy to create these tree shapes, and all I did was sand back this chopping board, just the top section. I masked off this white section, all the back and all the sides, created my burnt tree design, and I drew it out in pencil first, and then just free-handed it, and then used my burning tool, and then I have oiled it with the same food safe wood oil, and I think it looks beautiful. I'm so pleased with it. Hopefully my dad will like it. I think that they'll probably again use it as more of a serving board maybe, but me personally, I would chop on this side and then I would have this side as just a nice side. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. Again, I would need to give it another coat of oil. I think I made a little twisted string, a little tab for it if you wanted to hang it somewhere, because it did have one, but I took it off because it was a bit manky and I made a new one. But yeah, super pleased with that. So as I said, my little £10 wood burning tool has literally done so many presents this year. Really pleased I got it. It's a nice little new skill to have learned. There's definitely more I could do with the different tips. I just use the one tip and just keep going with that. I use it like a pencil. But yeah, super pleased with this, and hopefully my dad will really like it. Okay, and last up is a gift that I made for my brother, another gift that I made for my brother and his wife. I saw that my brother had entered a competition on Instagram to win a light that was made out of wood. And I had a little look, and this was months and months ago, and I screenshot it because I thought to myself, I could make that. Now, it wasn't as simple as that, I'm going to admit this, and I have had help to make this gift. So, and again, credit should go to the original company who make this lamp, who you can go and buy it from. They are called Lux Lighting Limited, and you can find them on Instagram, and I will link their Instagram and their Etsy shop in the description box. They make this lamp, which is made out of a cylinder of wood, like a big chunky branch, and in it is a beautiful globe bulb with LED fairy lights inside. It's really Christmassy, twinkly, and yeah, really pretty. And I had some offcuts of wood from the old house that I lived in. When they took off lots of the tree, I kept a lot of the wood, and I thought, I've got a piece which looks just like that. I also am very lucky that I have friends who are willing to help me. So my friend Marcus, he has a company called Kong River Woodworks, and he is based in Brightlingsea. He has his own workshop, and he creates beautiful bespoke pieces of furniture, kitchen cabinets, all sorts, from amazing beautiful wood, and he agreed to help me. So I took over my bit of wood and my other bits, and he helped me create this lamp. And here it is. So this is the block of wood that I already had. I had to purchase an LED fairy light bulb, which I got on Amazon. I've just put grubby fingers on it. And I also bought what's called a lamp kit. So that is essentially the bulb holder, the cable and the plug. And I bought one, I'd actually bought another one and it was wrong, and I had to buy this one where the plug is easily taken off. So essentially what we've done is, I say we, Marcus did a lot of this, is drilled into the branch to create the hole for the bulb holder to go in, and then a small hole down the rest of the branch for the cable. We've then notched out at the bottom for the cable to lie along, and I have then oiled the bit of branch, and I've also put some faux suede type leather on the bottom to, it's just so it's nice and soft, but also just to hold the cable in. There's a little bit of hot glue just to hold the bulb holder in there. The bulb does unscrew, so you could, obviously if this bulb died, you could get a new one. And yeah, I'm super pleased with it. I bought more of a sort of vintagey looking cable, so this is a twisted fabric cable, and I think it looks really, really nice. It's definitely not as luxe lighting, but I just thought I would give it a go. Hopefully he'll really, really like this. I'm not actually seeing my brother on Christmas Day, not quite sure when I'm going to be able to see him because of COVID rules, but I'm hoping I'll be able to give him this soon, and I'm hoping he'll have seen it before this video comes out. I might have to encourage him not to watch the video, otherwise it's going to ruin all of his presents. But yeah, big thank you to Marcus at Colne River Workshop. I will link his Facebook page and his website if you are local to the Essex area. Honestly, do check him out. He makes the most beautiful stuff, and he started his business really this year in the middle of a pandemic, and I just think that's incredible. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. I think it's quite nifty, and hopefully my brother will be suitably impressed that I made the thing that he entered a competition for. Obviously he didn't win the competition, but it's a good job because obviously otherwise he'd have two. And that's it. That's a look at just a few of the presents that I made this year. I'm hoping everybody will have liked them, and I'm also hoping that you guys had a really, really good Christmas despite everything. I think this year it was really important to me to make gifts that were personal and really showed people how I felt about them, and I think hopefully I've done that, and I've also given you guys some ideas of maybe presents you can make in the future. But I hope you enjoyed a good nosy. Give the video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and if you're not a subscriber, do subscribe, because I promise in 2021 you're going to see so many more videos from me, especially DIY videos. So Merry Christmas, have an absolutely fabulous new year, and I will see you in 2021. Bye. Douche.